Many of the code snippets provided with Flash Professional CS5 allow you to control timeline and other navigation tools. In this demonstration, I'm going to show you a Flash movie that has a lot of animations built into the movie clip symbols themselves rather than stored on the main timeline, and talk about how you can use code snippets to very quickly control when those symbols work and when they stop working. I'll use the following file. If you're following along, go to the ch02 timeline folder under exercise files and open the file olivepresswithplay.fla. Here's what this Flash movie does initially. On the main timeline, there are some animations controlling the movement of the arms. Then there are 3 separate instances of a single movie clip symbol named gear. The gear symbol has its own animation built in. And there's one other movie clip symbol over here named drop, which is creating its own animation. Now, to stop this animation from happening as the movie fires up, you're going to create a single stop command to control the main timeline, but you're also going to have to explicitly control each of the instances, that is the 3 gears and the drop. So let's start with a simple code snippet. I'll go to the menu and choose Window, Code Snippets, and I'll go to Timeline Navigation, and I'll double-click Stop at this frame. That adds a simple stop command, which causes the main timeline to stop its operations. I'll test the movie and show that that's affected the 3 arms, but not the gears or the drop. So I'll close Flash Player and return to the Actions panel, and I'll copy the stop command, and I'm going to paste it 4 times. Now, the first stop command will control the main timeline, but all of the other stop commands will be used to control the movie clip instances. There are 3 instances of the gear symbol with names of Gear 1, Gear 2, and Gear 3. So I'll simply add in those movie clip symbols separated by a period from the stop command. If you're not sure of the movie clip symbol names, go back to the stage and click on each symbol, and then check the properties. Going back to the Actions layer to frame number 1, and then to the Actions panel, I'll use the final stop command to control the drop instance. And once again, if I'm not sure of the instance name, I just click on it here and take a look at the Properties panel. So now let's see what happens as the movie starts in Flash Player. It's completely static. Next, I'm going to add user interface elements. I'm going to add a start and a stop button so that the user can control when the machine is working and when it's not. This will make the movie highly interactive. I'll close the test movie and the code snippets panel. This Flash movie already has 2 button symbols with names of start button and stop button. These are simple buttons. They don't have any animations, just a couple of different visual states. First, I'm going to insert a new layer and name it Buttons. And then I'll right-click on the new layer and choose Lock Others. That will ensure that as I add simple instances from the library onto the stage, that they'll go into the right layer. Then I'll add 1 copy of the Start button and 1 copy of the Stop button to the stage. I'll hold down the Shift key and select them both. Then I'll go to the Align panel and just make sure that they're left aligned. Now, when the user clicks each of these buttons, I'd like to control the timeline. We'll begin with the Start button. The Start button currently does not have an instance name. This time, I'm going to allow Flash to assign the required instance name for me. So I'll click on the button and go to the Code Snippets panel. I'll go to Timeline Navigation, and this time I'll choose this code snippet. Click to go to frame and play. I'll double-click and see this message that the selected symbol requires an instance name. And when I click OK, Flash assigns an arbitrary instance name, in this case button_3, and then creates all of the code to create the effect I want. Now Flash has added in a bit of code, go to and play 5. If you prefer, you can replace this with the simple play command, and then you won't see any flicker in the timeline. But I'm going to leave that as is, and I'm also going to go up to the code that I had already created to control the gears and the drop. I'll select and copy those 4 lines of code to the clipboard, and then I'll return to the new function and paste them in. I'll select that code and press Tab once to indent, and then I'll go through and replace the stop commands with play commands. I'll go ahead and test the movie at this point, and you'll see that as the movie starts up, no animation is happening, and then I'll click the Start button, and the entire animation kicks off. Now notice when I hit frame number 1 again, the machine stops. So let's go back to the design surface, and now I'm going to add an event handler for the Stop button. I'll select the Stop button, once again go to the Code Snippets panel, and this time I'll choose Click to go to next frame and stop. Once again I'll allow Flash to assign the required instance name. Then I'll go up to the top of the code and select all of the code that I initially was executing in frame number 1, and I'll cut it to the clipboard. Then I'll go down to the new function that was just created. I'll delete the code from there and paste in the code that was previously outside of any functions. And here's the result. Now when I run my Flash movie, the machine is running, but I can stop it and I can start it. You've now created a complete interactive application that gives the user control over when the movie is running and when it's not, and you've done it all with minimal coding on your part.